Hello, viewers. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is perhaps the best sequel I have seen since The Godfather Part 2, and I'm not exaggerating one bit here. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse richly deserves its place in the top 50 IMDb movies list. This 2023 animated Spider-Man movie made by Sony, not Disney remember, is as good if not slightly better than Avengers Infinity War. Again, no exaggerations here. I have to draw the parallel between Spider Man Across the Spider Verse and Avengers Infinity War because Avengers Infinity War is the first movie you're likely to compare it with once you've seen Spider Man Across the Spider Verse. Attempts have been made to make a movie like Avengers Infinity War by several studios. Warner Brothers tried to make the Justice League universe, the ill-fated dark universe attempted by Universal Studios featuring Tom Cruise in The Mummy. There's even a kaiju verse these days. To be perfectly fair to other studios, even Marvel themselves have struggled to replicate a movie like Avengers Infinity War again. So, knowing full well about this backdrop, one would not expect too much from what is admittedly the Spider-Man for the true enthusiasts and not Marvel Studios' Tom Holland live action Spider Man, which has largely been one of the few Marvel box office success stories in the post Avengers Endgame era. In fact, both Spider Man Far From Home and Spider Man No Way Home were great successes at the box office, collecting $1.13 billion and $1.91 billion worldwide, respectively. This goes to show that even when Marvel movies were performing abysmally at the box office, as well as getting panned by critics, Marvel's Spider Man was able to retain its enduring popularity. This must have been quite an interesting development from the point of view of Sony, as Sony had delivered memorable hits with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield playing the titular role of Spider Man. Sony still retained the rights to the Spider-Verse movies. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was released in 2018 and it grossed a respectable $390 million worldwide at the box office and received almost universal acclaim. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse had to not only live up to the goodwill generated by the first Spider-Verse movie, it also had to combat superhero as well as multiverse fatigue. The fact that it not only managed to be successful at the box office by collecting $690 million worldwide, but also finds a place in the top 50 IMDb movies is a testament to just how good Spider Man Across the Spider Verse really is. I must clarify at the earliest possible instance that this is no timeless classic. Like, exactly. Which movie will you consider a timeless classic? It differs from person to person. One person may consider Pulp Fiction to be a timeless classic, another person might consider 2001 A Space Odyssey to be a timeless classic, some people might consider both to be timeless classics. But to be labeled a timeless classic, the least we need to devote to a movie is time. Something we cannot do to a movie like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which only released 1 year back. So maybe we should not call it a timeless classic just yet. But take nothing away from this movie. It has managed to subvert audience expectations from modern superhero movies in a manner hitherto unimaginable, in my humble opinion. It flips the tried and tested script of superhero goes against his arch nemesis and bends it in ways that is sure to make you feel like being on a 2 hour long roller coaster ride. Again, no exaggerations here. Spider Man Across the Spider Verse checks all the boxes. It avoids predictable traps, it does not take itself too seriously, and it acknowledges in the most meta manner cinematically possible that to the vast majority of cinema going viewers, Tom Holland is the present day Spider Man and Miles Morales is just an afterthought at best and deeply disliked for even being Spider Man at worst. Perfect meta humor, in my opinion. The story is gripping and changes locations as is normal in the post multiverse movies that seem to be realizing that the very existence of a multiverse makes each character's existence in that multiverse that much more insignificant. If one Spider-Man dies, another version from a different universe can easily just take over. As an Indian, I particularly liked Pavitra Prabhakar as the Indian Spider-Man or the Indian Peter Parker. Pavitra Prabhakar, Peter Parker, get it? And the Indian Spider-Man was from the fictional Spider-Man city of Mumbatan, a clever play on the terms Mumbai and Manhattan. All in all, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse seemingly manages to achieve the impossible task of being both intelligent and accessible to the masses, while also creating genuine interest and enthusiasm for the next Spider-Verse movie titled appropriately Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Full marks to Sony for continuing to make Spider-Man movies, and the fact that Spider-Man movies from two different studios, Sony and Disney, are being appreciated even in the days of peak superhero and multiverse fatigue brings a great deal of joy to a lifelong Spider-Man fan like me. Check out Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse if you haven't already. It is available for buying and renting on YouTube itself. Thanks for watching this video. Take care and bye bye.